प्रयत्नाद्यतामानस्तु योगी संसुद किल्बिषा अनेक जन्म संसिद्धास् यतो यात्रि पराम गतिम. Translation: when the yogi engages himself with sincere endeavor in making further progress, being washed of all the contaminations, then ultimately achieving perfection after many births of practice, he attains the supreme goal. Purport: a person born in a particularly righteous, aristocratic, or sacred family becomes conscious of his favorable condition for executing yoga practice. With determination, therefore, he begins his unfinished task, and thus he completely cleanses himself of all material contaminations. When he is finally free from all contamination, he attains the supreme perfection, Krishna consciousness. Krishna consciousness is the perfect stage of being freed of all contamination. This is confirmed in Bhagavad Gita 7.28. Yesham tva antagatam papam jnanam punya karmanam tvedvanta moha nirmukta bhajante mam dhritavrataha. After many births of executing pious activities, when one is completely freed from all contaminations and from all illusory dualities, one becomes engaged in the transcendental loving service of the Lord. Guru Maharaj, our translator is absent today. He will join from next week.
Okay.
Yeah, so we don't have anyone to translate, but Simon and Kulan, they can understand Guru Maharaj.
Really?
Yeah, they can understand. Yeah, yes, most of them. Yes.
Okay.
Sorry, Guru Maharaj.
Okay, so Lord Krishna is continuing to reply about the yogi, about the one who had practiced yoga for a long time, but he wasn't quite successful. So he practiced. You remember there were two cases given. One had practiced yoga for a long time, and one had practiced just for a short time. So this is continuing about the one who practiced for a long time, and still he wasn't quite successful, but he takes birth in the family, of devotees, and because he practiced in his previous life, so when he takes birth in the family of devotees, it's very easy for him. It's very natural. So little children born in the family of devotees, that in their previous life, they must have been yogis. And because of their previous life, they took birth in the family of a devotee. So text 45 is describing the yogi engages with sincere endeavor in making further progress. So he'd made some progress in his previous life, and then he's taken birth again in the family of devotees. So he will continue to make progress. And Lord Krishna says he gets washed of all contamination. The contamination meaning the attachment, material desires which are in the heart, the different things which obstruct us from developing love for Krishna. The lust, the anger, and the greed, these things are there. These are the contaminations. So we have to get rid of the passion and the ignorance. Then we have to become pure. And then it said, ultimately achieving perfection after many, many births of practice, he attains the supreme goal. So you can see here, for that, the yogi who is going this way, it's a long process. It would take time, takes many births. So Prabhupada talks in the purport about the person is born in a particular family or a particular position in society. It may be in an aristocratic or sacred family. So he becomes conscious of the favorable condition. You know, he's aware, he's got a good opportunity. He's born in a good family. And so from beginning of life, vegetarian, maybe he's not worried that there's no television and mundane things to keep him away. The family they train him very nicely. We have some children here. They learn the Vishnu Sahasranam. The one young boy is only 6 years old, and he learned the whole Vishnu Sahasranam. At only 6 years old, could speak the whole Vishnu Sahasranam, memorized it. That's so very special. And some children, they're doing kirtan, and they're very young children, but they already play mridanga and play harmonium, can lead kirtan. So this is very special. So they have to have that. They have these qualities like determination, and they want to complete the path of yoga. So they have to get rid. There'll be some little bits of contamination there, and they have to get rid of that contamination. And they have to become fully Krishna conscious. So then Prabhupada quotes the verse from the 7th chapter about who is able to take up devotional service with determination. The word is there, dridavrat. Dridavrat means a vow of determination. So when we take up Krishna consciousness, we should have that kind of determination. And how do you get that kind of determination? Well, by doing devotional service for many births, or doing pious activities for many births. And that purifies the heart. You get rid of the sins. And we're able to fix the mind properly on Krishna. All right. Any questions?
Is there any questions? You please unmute and ask your question. Guru Maharaj, here pious activities means devotional pious activities. Right, Guru Maharaj? Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, sorry.
Yes, no problem.
Yeah, it talks about pious activities. Yesham Twantagatam Papam. Persons who are freed from the reactions of sins. So that's one thing. You have to get free from the reactions of past sins. And you have to do pious activities. So pious activities, there are different levels of pious activities. There's pious activities on the material platform, and then there's pious activities for the impersonalists, which get you impersonal realization. But there's pious activities which bring bhakti. So we want to do pious activities in relation to devotional service, in relation to devotees. All right. Devotee asked Prabhupada, he said, did I become a devotee because of my pious activities? So Prabhupada said, I am creating your pious activities. Because when we contact the pure devotee like Prabhupada, and Prabhupada engages us to do things like cooking and cleaning and distributing books and chanting Hare Krishna, Kirtan. So this is all pious activities in relation to devotion. And these kind of pious activities, they will bring more devotion. The result of our pious activities, it will get more bhakti. We'll do more bhakti. If we do pious activities on the bodily platform, then that will bring us the bodily platform, will keep us on the bodily platform. You just like you do pious activities which have no relation to Krishna. So these kind of pious activities, just like you give food for the poor people, and you give them food, but it's not prasadam. Or you take care of the children. Children have no home, and you give them some shelter. That's welfare activities, social activities. Even planting trees and digging wells. These are also pious activities, but they're on the material platform. They don't bring bhakti. They're pious activities, but it's not going to give us devotion to Krishna. Devotion to Krishna comes from a devotee. When we contact a devotee, like Prabhupada, so Prabhupada engages us in service to Krishna. And service to Krishna will bring us more service to Krishna. So yeah, the pious activities mentioned here, this is in relation to bhakti, in relation to devotion. Just like eating prasadam, that's pious activity. Or hearing the Bhagavad Gita, this is also pious activity. You understand?
Yes, Guru Maharaj, it's clear. It's very clear now. I can understand. And pious activities for the impersonalist.
Well, that means you do service for the impersonalist. Maybe you give your money to the impersonalist, so he will use it to build the build the impersonalist temple.
Okay, Guru Maharaj.
People print their books with their impersonal philosophy. And even their chanting Hare Krishna may be done, but they're chanting Hare Krishna to become Krishna, to become one with Krishna. So they have their material goals, they have their impersonal goals. Right?
Yes, Guru Maharaj, yes.
Because they're impersonalists, so their goal is impersonalism. So the impersonalists, they desire to become one with Krishna, to merge. So if you take the prasadam from the impersonalists, then it will affect us that way. We'll become more attracted to the impersonal. And we won't be so attracted to Krishna, instead we'll be attracted to the impersonal feature of Krishna.
Yes, Guru Maharaj, very clear. But
Yes.
here they are saying we can do it with determination after completely free from all the sins.
Yes,
But
we have to get free of sinful reactions. Yes.
But when we start bhakti, we are having so many sins, right, Guru Maharaj?
But Krishna says, if you surrender to him, he will free us from all sinful reactions. Right? Krishna says at the end of the 18th chapter, if we surrender to him, then he will free us from all sinful reactions. So by doing devotional service, the chanting of the Hare Krishna mantra, it destroys unlimited amounts of sinful reactions. And chanting of Hare Krishna mantra is so powerful, it will destroy all the sinful reactions from the past. Even just one time chanting the Hare Krishna mantra, if you chant Hare Krishna purely, then it will destroy all the sinful reactions. Just like when we go around Tulsi, we're chanting the prayer to Tulsi, Yani Kani Chapapani Brahma Hatya Dikani Cha. Right? Just by going around Tulsi, it destroys even the reactions of killing a Brahmana. Brahma Hatya means killing a Brahmana. So killing a Brahmana is very sinful. But just by going around Tulsi can free us from the sinful reactions. So devotional service destroys our sinful reactions. And devotional service means doing things like chanting Hare Krishna and taking Krishna Prasadam and hearing the Bhagavad Gita, worshipping Krishna. Understand?
Yes, Guru Maharaj, very clear. Thank you, Guru Maharaj. Any other questions? Simon Prabhu, are you able to follow? Any questions? Kulan Mataji, Tanmay Prabhuji.
For me, it's very clear. Thank you.
Okay.
Okay, thank you, Simon. Okay, we'll just read one more verse.
Yes, Guru Maharaj. Simon Prabhu, do you want to read the Sanskrit? I can read the English.
Tapas vibhiho diko yoji, jnanibhyo bhimato dika, karmibhyaha cha diko yogi, tasmad yogi bhavarjuna.
Translation. A yogi is greater than aesthetic, greater than the empiricist, and greater than the fruitive worker. Therefore, O Arjuna, in all circumstances be a yogi. Purport. When we speak of yoga, we refer to linking our consciousness with the supreme absolute truth. Such a process is named differently by various practitioners in terms of the particular method adopted. When the linking process is predominantly in fruitive activities, it is called as karma yoga. When it is predominantly empirical, it is called as jnana yoga. And when it is predominantly in devotional relationship with the Supreme Lord, it is called bhakti yoga. Bhakti yoga or Krishna consciousness is the ultimate perfection of all yogas, as will be explained in the next verse. The Lord has confirmed therein the superiority of yoga, but he has not mentioned that it is better than bhakti yoga. Bhakti yoga is full spiritual knowledge and therefore nothing can excel it. It is sitam without spiritual knowledge is imperfect. Empiric knowledge without surrender to Supreme Lord is also imperfect, and fruitive work without Krishna consciousness is a waste of time. Therefore, the most highly prized form of yoga performance mentioned here is Bhakti Yoga, and this is still more clearly explained in the next verse.
Okay, very good. Hare Krishna, can you hear me?
Yes, Guru Maharaj, we can hear you.
Okay, so Lord Krishna is giving a comparison between the different people. He says the yogi is greater than the ascetic. Ascetic means somebody who does a lot of austerity, who does a lot of maybe even torture of the physical body. He may do a lot of very severe penances and sense control. May be very renounced in eating and sleeping, mating and defending, completely stopped. Like that ascetic, they often live away from the world. They often have the long hair and the beard, and they may live in the forest or in the mountain. But it says the yogi is greater than this ascetic and greater than the empiricist. An empiricist means a jnani. Empiricist is someone who cultivates knowledge by himself. So a jnani, one who cultivates the path of knowledge, is like an empirical, like an empiricist. Sometimes the scientists are empirical scientists, you know. They try to explain life as coming from the chemicals. But the yogi is greater than the empiricist and greater also than the fruitive worker. The fruitive worker means simply the karmi. A karmi, he wants to enjoy the results of his work. So you've got different kinds of karmis. You've got people who are just on the physical platform. They're totally servant of their senses. The karmi, mudha, like a donkey, and they just live for the enjoyment of the senses. And they work to enjoy the senses. They want to enjoy the results. They will enjoy eating and sleeping and mating and defending. So a fruitive worker is on the material platform. The empiricist, he's a bit better than the karmi, because the empiricist, he's detached from the material world. And you've got the aesthetic, he's endeavoring to get liberation out of the material world. So it says the yogi is better than all of these different people. The karmi, the jnani, the yogi, and above all the yogis is the bhakti yoga. The bhakti yogi, the yoga of one who is a yogi of devotion. So he's the best. He's better than the aesthetic, and he's better than the empiricist, and he's better than the fruitive worker. So we should understand that it's useless to just work, to enjoy the results of our work. People, everyone we all have our karma. According to our past life, we have a karma. And because of our karma, we're born into this particular body now. And because of our karma, we're in a particular country, and we're in a particular family, in a particular condition. And this is karma. everyone is suffering and enjoying according to our past. And this is true even for the king of the demigods like Indra, and right down to the tiniest germ. There's a tiny germ called the Indra Gopa. So every living entity is suffering and enjoying their karma. They enjoy the past good deeds and they suffer for their sins. So that is the law of karma. So people, you've got some people, they want to just enjoy they will simply work. And they say, well, work I will enjoy. Do honest work and make some money, so they enjoy the result of their work. But yogi is better than that, of course. Why? Because the yogi is getting beyond birth and death. The karmi, he's enjoying the results of the work, but he will not get out of the material world. He's going to stay in the material world. He's not going to get free of the material world. You don't get out of the material world just by doing karma. And what about the empiricist? So the empiricist, he has to cultivate knowledge. And the goal of knowledge, we know the goal of knowledge is to surrender to Krishna. Bahunam janmanamante gyanavam mam prapajyante Vasudev Sarvamiti Samahatma Sudurlabha. In the Bhagavad Gita, Lord Krishna describes the process of knowledge is to surrender to Krishna. But it says after many births and deaths, when one is actually in knowledge, then he will surrender to Krishna. So that's the problem with the path of knowledge, that it takes a long time. It's going to take many births. And then Lord Krishna also speaks about the yogi, or the ascetic who renounces everything, goes away from the world. So he gives up the world. But a devotee of Krishna doesn't give up the world. We want to use the world in the service of Krishna. That's more important. Do you remember the example? Money is laying in the street. The money is laying in the street. Now the devotee sees the money, he will take the money and he will give it to Krishna. Somebody else sees the money in the street and he takes it, he puts it in his own pocket and he goes to spend it. So that's the karmi. And somebody else sees the money in the street and he says, don't touch it. He said, it's Maya, it's all illusion. Don't touch it, you'll get entangled. He just leaves it laying in the street. And so who was right? Well, the devotee was right, because the devotee saw this money belongs to Krishna. It should be used for Krishna's service. They would take the money and give it for the service of Krishna. We always have a lot of nice services to do for Krishna. We make nice sweet balls for Krishna. We put on festivals for Krishna. We distribute books for Krishna. There's always so many nice programs to be done for the service of Krishna. So that we want to do like that. And we take the money, whatever money is there, whatever money Krishna gives us, we use it for the service of Krishna. We don't reject the money, but we want to use it for Krishna's service. So in this way, the yogi is better. And Krishna is saying to Arjuna, in all circumstances, therefore, O Arjuna, be a yogi. He's telling Arjuna, you should also become a yogi. Yoga, remember, the word yoga means to connect. to connect, to join together Krishna and the living entities. We want to connect the soul to the Supreme Soul. So Krishna is the Supreme Soul, and we're the tiny sparks. We're tiny sparks of the Supreme Soul. We want to connect. That is the real yoga, when we connect with the Supreme Lord. All right, everybody understand this verse? Any question? Anything you don't understand? You can see there's a yoga ladder. One person, one yogi is better, the yogi is better. It's not all one. Some people argue, they say, oh, it's all one, it's all. No, Krishna doesn't say that. Krishna said the yogi is greater. It's greater than this person, it's greater than that person. He tells Arjuna, become a yogi. So Krishna is telling all of us, we have to become yogis. What kind of yogi? Yogi in devotion. That is the real yogi. One who's a yogi in devotion. All right, yes? Any question?
Yes, Guru Maharaj. Any questions? You can unmute and please ask the questions. Guru Maharaj, I also have a question after everybody asks. I can ask. Yeah. Adi Dharandas Prabhu, you have a question? Please ask. You can unmute and ask the question.
Yes, thank you much, Vaishnavani. Guru Maharaj, please accept my obeisances. My question is, please explain the situation regarding laying down in the street. If I, for example, see the money laying down on the street and take it and just use in my private life, I mean in my life, but I say that it's for service to Krishna. What is the proof that I really use this money for service in Krishna, or is just some self? No. So it's not proper use, maybe just private use, not for really for Krishna service, for satisfaction for Krishna. So where is the proof? Where is the real understanding that this is for Krishna really? Thank you.
Well, if it's for Krishna, you'll use it for Krishna. Just like you're going to cook, you're going to eat for Krishna. So you offer to Krishna. You're cooking something, you're going to cook and offer it to Krishna. There's a big difference for you, what's for you and what's for Krishna. The difference is we offer to Krishna. When we cook for Krishna, we have to offer to Krishna. And we do it for Krishna. The money's for Krishna, we'll use it for Krishna's service. Just like as a devotee, you know, you have to do things like wear tilak, and you have neck beads, and you have to have things like a bead bag and so on. So you get these things, you find some money, you use it like that. You don't spend the money on sense gratification, but you use the money for the service of Krishna. Maybe you want to read a book about Krishna. Maybe there's a book you want to read or about Prabhupada. And so you find the money, use the money to buy the new book, and you can read about Prabhupada. Or maybe you need the money to pay for your internet connection, and you use the money to pay for your Wi-Fi so you can preach and so you can hear the lectures on the Wi-Fi and you can talk to people about Krishna. So that's using money for the service of Krishna. And you use the money, you can also use the money, you can use the money to go to the temple. And you can also, if you want, you can give the money to Krishna, give the money to the temple for the service of Krishna. So I don't think it's very hard to understand what you're doing for Krishna and what you're doing for Maya. You use the money for Maya, you use the money to go to cinema, use the money to go to drink alcohol. But we use the money for the service of Krishna. We use it for the things in relation to Krishna, Krishna's service. Okay?
Yes, Guru Maharaj, thank you. My question was because sometimes our service mixed, not pure. Sometimes we live and just support our life. Of course, this our life with Krishna also, but in the same time, maybe better this money, better donate to some temple or spiritual master, or maybe some sadhu, or maybe for developing mission of ISKCON, maybe. Maybe this is better than just use in our private life. Of course, this is with Krishna, but in the same time, maybe we're not constantly so much do for Krishna. This is my thoughts about it.
Of course, yes, if you like, you can do that, but you have to consider everything, time, place, and circumstances. What is really more, what's required more? Where does it need more urgent? You may have some personal needs yourself. Some things may be restricting you. And you may have to use the money for your own personal needs so that you can serve Krishna better.
Now it's clear. Thank you, Guru Maharaj.
Yeah, we shouldn't think, oh, it's wrong to use the money for our own self. No, but if our own self is dedicated to the service of Krishna, then it's okay. And just like this body, you have to keep the body healthy. And so sometimes you have to pay money to dentist. Sometimes you have to go to doctor. You have to buy medicine, these things. So it's all so we can do more service for Krishna. Then if we don't take care of the body, then it's a problem. So we have to use money sometimes, although we don't like to spend money on ourselves, but sometimes just to take care of the body, sometimes you have to. Just like you're going to go out for preaching, you have to travel. You have to spend money to travel. If you don't travel, then your preaching won't get done. So sometimes you have to spend the money to go traveling. Right?
Yes, Guru Maharaj, right. Thank you so much.
Guru Maharaj, I have a question. Which one? We can go to work and earn money and give some money to Krishna, but if we have an opportunity to give up our work and involve in direct service to Krishna, and we can spend more time reading Bhakti Shastri, Bhakti Vaibhav, and we can engage more ourselves in Srila Prabhupada's mission, then which one is better, Guru Maharaj? Which is better?
I mean,
yeah, you go to work and give the money to Krishna, or you give up the work and engage in direct service for Krishna?
Well, it depends. The difference will be in consciousness, you see. What's important is the consciousness. It's not so much the work, but it's the consciousness with which we do it. So somebody may be working, they may be working in the job, but within their heart, they're simply thinking of Krishna and working for Krishna. And they work in the job, but they give the fruit of their work. They give as much as they can of the fruit of the work for the service of Krishna. Now, somebody else may be full-time, they may not have any job. They may be fully devoted, seemingly, externally, they're seemingly devoted. That they don't have any full-time job, but they work for the temple. Maybe they're working for the temple and come to temple every day and do service in the temple, maybe serve the deities, and maybe do cooking also there at the temple. Yeah. But so they're working for Krishna, but their consciousness may not be on Krishna. That within their mind, they're simply thinking only to enjoy. It depends. It's not just the work only, but it's the consciousness and the attitude which they have in performing the work. So if somebody's actually working for Krishna, that's the main thing. That within their mind, they're cultivating that consciousness of being the servant of Krishna. So that's the main thing, that they have that mood of being servant to Krishna.
Yes, Guru Maharaj.
So it doesn't matter so much about whether you're working or whether you're not working. When somebody's working, they may be working, but they're very detached. They may be very detached from the material world. Then they're just simply dedicated to Krishna. So we don't make really a distinction. Of course, somebody is very fortunate if they can be full-time engaged in the service of the temple. They're fortunate, but it doesn't mean that they're better than other people who are not serving. Like Prabhupada said, he was never, he as a householder, he used to live outside and he had his job, he had his business. So, he didn't see any difference, somebody's living outside and somebody's living inside. He didn't see a difference. It's not that one person is better than the other.
Yeah, Guru Maharaj. But will we not lose some time spending on reading Bhagavad Gita and spending on devotions? We have to go and, yeah. Yes, sorry, Guru Maharaj.
Well, it's much easier, of course, if you live in the temple, but not everybody can do that. If you can live in the temple, then it's easier that these things are arranged there, morning program, classes, and so on. So that's there in the temple. And if you're at home, you have to arrange these things on your own. Right? When you're at home, then you have to arrange it for yourself.
Yeah, yes, Guru Maharaj.
You have to get the book and you have to maybe find a class. You can go online to a temple and hear from another temple, different places, different programs.
Yes, Guru Maharaj. I understand. But if the job is very stressful for us, no peace of mind, not able to spend really good quality chanting, not able to come to the classes properly, then it's not very good, right, Guru Maharaj?
Yeah, it's not very good, right? Then, if the job is very stressful and so on like that, you're not able to come to classes and so on. Oh, you should.
Hare Krishna.
So the karma is like that they have to, they cannot really get away from it. They're not able to give up the job. They have to keep the job, but the job itself is very stressful and demanding. So what to do? Well, depend on Krishna.
Mhm. Okay, Guru Maharaj, that's very clear.
After some time, the job will change. At least you have a job. If you don't have a job, then it can be more stressful because then you've no income. So that's a big problem. So sometimes you have to tolerate, you have to accept some hardships will be there. And be thankful at least you have a job. If you have no job, then it can be more stressful.
Yes, Guru Maharaj. But is it not like whatever we are destined to get, we will get it? So if you even suppose if you don't have a job, still you will get some money and you can manage.
Well, you have to see. Maybe you can get some money. Maybe you can manage. You don't know. Yeah, some ways it's nice to minimize your demands and to live very simply and to live with very less money. That's very good. It's very nice. But not everybody can do it. Sometimes it creates a lot of problems. Maybe you have children who are depending on you and you have to provide certain things for the children. So you have to consider the situation overall.
Yes, Guru Maharaj. Yeah.
So
Yeah. Yes, Guru Maharaj, I understand.
we're always trying to find the perfect situation. We expect there should be no problems, no anxiety. You can't always get like that. You can't expect this material world that you'll find the perfect job and the perfect situation. There will also always be some problems, some difficulties. Right? This is a material world. This is a material world, the temporary place of suffering, misery. We have to tolerate the difficulties, gradually overcome them.
Yes, Guru Maharaj, I understand.
The more we have difficulties, then the more we train our mind to take shelter of Krishna. If you don't have any difficulties, you become comfortable, you become lazy. It's not very good. So it's good to actually have some difficulty. Because the more the difficulties, Queen Kunti said, the more the difficulties, the more she remembers Krishna. So there's some good things about having difficulties. If you have an easygoing life, if you have everything very comfortable, that's not very good. Because we won't think of Krishna. If we have a comfortable life, we just think of sense gratification. You just spend the whole day thinking about sense gratification. That's not good. So the more there are difficulties, the more we become strong in Krishna consciousness. Do you understand?
Yes, Guru Maharaj, I understand. Yeah, we have to learn to tolerate the difficulties and yes, Guru Maharaj.
Okay. All right, so will we chant Hare Krishna now?
Yes, Guru Maharaj.
Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaur Bhaktavinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama Rama. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama Rama. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama 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 Krishna, Hare Rama, Krishna Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama 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 Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, 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 Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama Hare 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 Krishna, Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Rama, Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasadi Gaur Bhaktavinda. Okay, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Gurudev.
Thank you, Guru Maharaj.
Thank you, Guru Maharaj. Thank you, Vaishnavi.
Hare Krishna Guru Maharaj. Thank you.
Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Thank you, Guru Maharaj. Hare Krishna.
Jai Guru Maharaj ki jai.
Jai. Muy poco.